Oh, Lord.
I needed this.
I shouldn't have come
today.
here.
No, I needed this today. I told you,
myself.
it's been a solemn week here in LA, and it's going to be even rougher towards the end of the week. There was no time for preaching or talking about your life or reevaluating this kind of stuff. It just makes you realize that you got to tell people you love them. You got to look at people when they leave and ask them where they're going. And so if they do something, God forbid, these are the ones you hate. When you look at your mother right now, Kate, you said your mother's going through something.
My mom has lupus. She's just getting to the later stages.
Well, if she gets to be 90, by the time she gets to be 90, you're waiting for the call. The same thing with you.
That's Andy 90.
I don't wish to mean no disrespect to anybody at this table or even listening. But when people go sudden,
yeah, of course,
it does something to you. It
it's
really
so
does
hard.
something to you.
It's weird because I was actually thinking about that. I was like, it was fascinating to me because I've met him a few times, and it was like interesting to me how much because I never particularly. I'm not saying anything bad about him, but I never particularly was like, he's the greatest guy ever. He was fine, but I still was really broken up when I saw it. It still felt, it's interesting how it can affect you when it's such a shock. I woke up in bed and saw his face and was like, what? Nah.
I landed at 9:30. And the lady said, get ready to land. I thought we still had an hour. I was watching something. I was watching Hustler with Jennifer Lopez on the plane.
Of course you were.
And not that I'm a fan of her, I just wanted to see if she deserved it.
You are a fan of her. You sing along to her songs in the car.
I don't know.
You sang along.
To what song?
To J-Lo.
What song?
If you have my love and I
No,
is that her?
No, I don't like that song.
Well, you sang along to some J-Lo.
I worked on the road as a
You
feature.
did. You sang along?
No, I did not.
I have it on tape.
Listen,
I
worked with a guy. I was a feature act one time in a condo. You know when you're a feature act and you get put with a headliner that is just crazy?
Like you?
This guy was like 40 years old.
Oh, yeah.
He was married with kids. But the first thing he did when we got to the condo was he put that album was hot.
Which album?
That J-Lo album was
the one
hot
I just sang?
at the time. Yeah.
So I didn't even know if that was her.
He put the poster up of her in his room.
She's hot as shit.
All week long, he listened to that album over and over and over. And all he would talk about is how talented she was.
She is.
Dancer. She drove me fucking nuts. Anyway, doesn't really matter about the movie. I just put it on because I'll never watch that movie at home. So when the girl opened up, when the stewardess said we're landing in 30 minutes, the girl opened up the visor. And I said to myself, fuck, it's fucking foggy in L.A.
Oh, yeah, it was.
20 minutes later, we landed. Me and Steve Simone crossed the street. We got in the car and we drove home.
It was actually so foggy that night I went out with Paulie. I was driving toward downtown, and the sensor on the car that senses a forward collision, it kept on saying the sensor can't work because of the fog. I mean, it was so bad.
I didn't know all this. So I go home, and I put my luggage down, and I put Twitter, and it says Kobe died. And I'm like, ha-ha, because there's always some.
I didn't think it was real either.
And I called my friend who works for the Lakers. When I went to Google, because I went to Yahoo and it wasn't on the Yahoo page yet at all. But there was little mentions on Twitter. I called my friend and his first words were, he goes, I'm going to find out who wrote this rumor and I'm going to fucking take a pipe and go beat them.
Yeah, no one believed it.
And I go, get back to me, let me know what you hear. And that's when he called me. And listen to me, Lee, this is weird. I had to go to CVS. I had to go to Walgreens. Went to Walgreens, and when I walked into Walgreens, the two women behind the counter were crying, and all of a sudden, tears rushed to my fucking eyes.
I know, me too.
It was like,
weird.
It was like every death I suffered hit me like this one was like
because it's so sudden.
It's so sudden.
It's so unexpected that you're just like, wow, that could be me.
And this is the reaction. You go back to being the junkie fat fuck that I was. As I went on the line, there was a sale for Oreo Double Thick. with the two for $5. Oh my God!
You can't say no to that.
And
2 for $5. You got to.
And I was ready to pick up the 2 things, and I go, "This is part of my disease. This is who I am." When things
To
get
cheer up.
bad, it was either drugs, and then it became the food. This is who I am, and I go, "Fuck those Oreos." It was so
Good for you, man. I'm proud of you.
No, don't be proud of me.
No, but that's growth.
But to figure out that but I'm 57 years old.
No, I know, but that
if I
still
would have figured it out at
matters.
20, I would have been looking like Adonis right
Some
now.
people never figure it out.
But it was so weird how at that moment I go, that was what I used
Isn't that
to
interesting?
do.
I had
If
this.
you would call me in those days and say something like the day we went to Vegas together, and we got the call that Brody died.
Don't make us
I
cry.
swear to God that, like, I went back to the room and Kate, did I not call you
That was the
immediately?
worst day ever.
I go, come right back to I go, come, because we got food in the room. We had they had already left food for me. I didn't want to eat alone. Like, I called Kate, I go, Kate, do me a favor. I never really want to ask you to come over to my room. I had a huge room. Then our friend
Couldn't make
came
me
over.
cry thinking about it. It was the
then
hardest
Brett
day.
came over, and Brett, we were friends, and nobody really brought up Brody. We ate.
It was awkward.
food.
It was weird because I found
tried
out.
to avoid it. I
Well, you
wanted to
flew
avoid
in
it.
after me.
Oh,
And
we
like,
didn't fly in together?
No, that show, you had to change your flight because you got to audition or something came up. You had to do it in the morning. So you change your flight. Are you going to the bathroom? Oh, you change your flight. So I was there for like 2 hours, and I've never lost. The only person I ever lost like that was my grandfather. That was sudden. He had a heart attack. He was pretty young, but my grandfather was a little estranged. I never lost someone that close that I just talked to like 2 days before. Like, it was. I mean, that was, everybody's had that happen, I guess. But the first time that happens to you, it was just so, I couldn't get my head around it. I couldn't stop crying. I was like, how are we going to do the shows? I'm hysterical. And then you came in and then you deal with it so different. Because I remember, like, I don't even, if you even know this, but like, you didn't say anything about it.
I didn't want to talk about
I know.
it. I didn't want to.
I know. And I knew because I know
couldn't
you.
get myself started.
But do you know that we did Vegas and then we did Tucson and then flying from, it was either Vegas, I think flying from Vegas to Tucson. On the plane, you started crying, but you didn't say a word. But you just put your hand on me, and I knew that was like, you finally let it
I couldn't
out.
I had
I
a
know.
job to
You had to do the show. That show was so hard.
I couldn't do that. That Vegas show that first night.
It was so hard.
I dedicated it to him, but there was to go up there and try to be funny and don't get me wrong, folks. It's my job.
It's our
I'm
job.
professional.
But
I've been
also,
doing it for 28 years.
that venue was the worst one for that because it was a pitch black. It was a spotlight, and you couldn't see one person's face, so there wasn't even like another human to connect to. It was just.
I like that. That's how I like
I do
it.
too
I
sometimes.
don't want to
but
see nobody's faces
but-
because I didn't want them to look at me break down.
I wanted to see their faces, so
thought
I wasn't like in a void.
At
Like,
the end, when I said I dedicate this show to Brody, as I turned, the tears were going to fall out, but I didn't want people to see me cry. And then we went to Tucson. I avoided even going into my head.
I know I was starting to be like,
wouldn't.
is he gonna bring it up? at all?
No.
Oh,
We're
it's
eating,
hard.
we went to eat. We did whatever. We smoked pot. We did the show. When I got back to the room that night, I broke down. And I broke down because I didn't break down like I was supposed to on Friday. I cried on the plane by myself, but I was sitting there and people were starting to watch me.
No one
And
noticed.
on the plane they were. The two people next to me looked at me, and the tears
I've cried
kept
on
coming
so many
down.
flights.
And I controlled myself. And then
Yeah.
once I saw you that Sunday, because for me,
That's
it's
it.
so surreal. No, it's so in layers. Like, I'm just starting to come to grips. Like a couple of weeks ago, I asked Lee about something, and he goes, well, Steve Simone is doing something for Brody. I go, what the fuck are they doing for Brody when his anniversary's coming up in 2 months? Number one. Number two, I'm just starting to, like, his phone number is still in my thing.
I still follow him on social
I still
media.
have
I know.
Ralphie May on
Me
my
too.
thing.
Me
To
too.
me, they're not dead. They're
I
just
know.
on a vacation. You
That's how you
I
had
still
to
have
think
to
of
deal
it.
with it.
Yeah.
But eventually, I'm going to have to pay the piper.
What do
You
you
always
mean?
have to pay the piper.
Deal with it, you mean?
I did this with my mother, and it came back 5 years later to haunt me. So all this dealings, you got to deal with this shit. When it comes to death, you have to deal with this
What
shit.
can you do besides cry it out? And
Right? Fight it. You're going to have bad days. You're going to think about them. It's the weirdest fucking thing because like every time I'm at the light at Starbucks, I think of Brody, and I avoid it. I try to get into the song.
I think of him every time I see that billboard behind Pink Dot where he had his.
And then when you go upstairs to the fucking belly room, they got that picture.
I know.
You're about to do comedy, and somebody punches you in the fucking chest before you go up the stairs.
His picture's in every room.
By the time I get upstairs, I got fucking anxiety from seeing that fucking
That picture is huge.
That picture has to come down.
Bigger than life
I want it
size.
somewhere else because as soon as you go
think the same.
You go
It
to
makes
a
you
back
sad.
bar to have a drink and to talk to your friends or to get a slice of pizza. And they got a big fucking picture of Brody right there.
It's huge.
Who I love, but it just takes...
It's true. Every time you're having a great moment, you see it and it kind of punches you in the gut.
It's like getting ready to fuck somebody, sucking their titties. You go down there and you feel that string. And you go, God damn it, I just blew 160 on
Is that
dinner,
really happen?
And this bitch have
I always warn guys.
Huh?
I always warn them.
Before they call you?
No.
Like if I call you and go, would you like to go to dinner on a Friday night? And you agree to me to go to Dan Tanner's. And on the way home, I go to reach between your legs and you got a little fuse.
Do you want to know the truth?
Yes.
If it's a date where I would normally have fucked you and I know that I can't because my period's that bad, I won't go out with you if we're not boyfriend, girlfriend. But if it's like a first date and I wouldn't fuck you anyway, I still will. Because I don't fuck guys on the first date ever.
No, not you.
Except for Phoenix.
Except that wasn't a date.
Except for the model, except for the...
Okay, hold on. That wasn't I knew him.
Let me tell you something.
Wait, the model, I knew him.
If you think the questioning and the fucking Harvey Weinstein case is crazy...
You know what?
This would blow
bullshit.
your fucking mind.
I knew the model for 3 years. I saw him all over the place all the time.
I know.
Wasn't the first time.
There's always a first. Listen, it's never as good as the first time. Shot day.
I'm saying it wasn't the first date. You know what? If you saw a hot supermodel get naked on a stage in a shower and all the girls were trying to fuck him, I admit, I've grown up a little. But there was a time when I was very insecure because no one liked me. I got made fun of. I was ugly. I couldn't get any of the boys I wanted. So I admit there's a little piece of me that when I could fuck the hottest male model in the world was like, oh my God, I never could. Like, I can't believe I'm going to get to fuck this guy. And I did. So, you know what? Fine.
I'm not mad at you.
But I don't do it often. You're wrong. But I have a whole list and I know the numbers. I know all their names.